Hi everyone, welcome to Let's Talk with Teresa Ann. I am your host and so grateful that you are joining me on today's Flipping the Script Monday. Now, if you're joining me via YouTube, hello. And if you're joining me by listening to this via podcast, welcome. And I want to start out today by letting you know that I am actually recording on Easter Sunday. Wow, Resurrection Sunday. And I want to share with you a story that I wrote back in 2009 in which I was imagining the day after she met Jesus. And I wanted to share that with you. And of course, if you're listening to this via podcast, it's just going to be an effortless flow. But if you're watching this via YouTube, just tune in and listen. And I want to share this with you. But before I go any further, I've got to make sure I highlight lbhstyle.com for, again, these awesome earrings. I get to be an affiliate of theirs. Are these so cute or what? Look at these. Look how cute they are. So if you go to LBH Style and you go to their Etsy shop and you purchase their items, make sure before you check out, go to the coupon code and type in Let's Talk 15. So make sure you go visit LBH Style. And without further ado, here's what's coming up next on today's Flipping the Script Monday. I imagine this scene the day after her encounter with Jesus. Morning came. She awoke, yet this time no one was beside her. There was no man sleeping in her bed, nor was she sleeping in another man's bed to fulfill the void within her heart. She was awake, fully, this time with a smile of gratefulness, inhaling and exhaling on purpose, no longer holding her breath in shame. She rose up from her bed imagining she would have a new garment to wear. As she turns, she notices something. She places her hand on her mouth in shock as she sees a beautiful white dress carefully draped over the stone chair. She was stunned, for the only garment that she had ever worn that she can even remember was a heavy, black, sadly worn dress. It was a dress that reminded her of her life of mourning. Yet today, her garment was different. She ran to the stone chair and hurriedly placed the new dress on herself. She giggled. She was taken back by the sound of her giggling. To hear laughter ringing in her ears was a refreshing yet foreign, delightful sound that came from her own voice. Her heart leads her mind to the thoughts of yesterday. She thinks about this amazing man, a man like no other she had ever encountered, her Jesus, who forever changed her life and history. She thought to herself, no one has ever lifted my head like that before. I know now what that word means. The word called love. That's him. He is love. She dared with boldness to open that door to the world outside her house. She was okay. No matter what they would say or do, she had experienced his love. That's all that mattered to her anymore. As she stepped foot into the world outside her house, she noticed the beautiful creation around her. She remembered almost seeing things in a gray tone before her encounter with Jesus. But today, She sees everything in Technicolor. The colors are so beautiful and breathtaking. As she walks by the people in her village, she hears them snicker and whisper with sarcasm and even jealousy. Ha, that's her. She's the one who deserved to die. And that Jesus, who calls himself the Son of God, yeah, he let her live. I wonder what that's all about. Look how she walks now. I cannot believe she even attempts to lift her head so high. How dare she? She's a whore, yet she acts like she's this virgin. I wonder who got her that dress, as they laughed, making fun of her. But I believe in that moment, she looked at them with the eyes of love, even in that moment, like the man she had encountered. She smiled at them with compassion. They were shocked and insulted, realizing that shame had no chance. I would have to think that there were others who would look from side to side to see if anyone was watching as they ran to her in fear. Yet they had to know as they asked her in desperation, "Why are you different?" And her getting the opportunity to share, as she might have said something like this: "Oh my God, I had an encounter with my Lord, and he freed me from my death sentence." As she shared her encounter with him, those that knew of her wanted what she had. They had to, no matter the cost. And this leads me to ask, Lord, do others know that I've encountered you? Have I continued to lift my head when you lifted it the first day I met you? Do I still walk in shame, or do I walk in your freedom of who you are? I want to be grateful as I display your love, Lord, not just by my actions, but also by my words, just by how I even breathe. Help me, Father. Let me walk in daily remembrance the day I encountered you. Will the world run to Jesus as they run to me by displaying the freedom I have in him? Or will they run from Jesus by running from me as I display my shame and who I thought I was, forgetting to reveal my encounter with him? I desire to be like this woman after her encounter with Jesus. And before I end this podcast today, I think of Mary Magdalene when she was greeted by Jesus after she had thought that they had stolen his body. And when he said her name, Mary, she knew it was Jesus. The intimacy. Are we intimate with him to where when he calls our name, would we say, "Oh, Lord, Lord"? Listen, thank you so much for tuning in today. I just want to remind you what this show is all about. It's about bold inspiration, revealing God's goodness. Thank you so much for joining me today on Let's Talk with Teresa Ann. Please make sure you hit the button subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thank you also for writing a review on my iTunes or my YouTube video. Also, your feedback is so much fun. So thank you so much for writing and letting me know that you've come by for a visit.